Section 1.5 is about having a problem-solving plan. And again, I'm writing in red so you can differentiate my answers from the questions. You will be working in pencil, and you'll have your name, the date, and the assignment on your page. And yours will be a blank page, not the practice worksheet. I found a different practice worksheet to just help provide some examples. This is one of the parts that I think algebra students have the most difficult time with because it can seem a little unnecessary. I can do this in my head, and it is kind of hard to take these verbal statements and turn them into algebraic expressions. So all I can do is ask you to do the best you can, and you might come up with something and it might not match when you check your answers. Or you can't come up with something and you check your answers and then it makes sense. Again, it's reading, learning, trying, making mistakes. So just do your best with this. And of course, people might do it differently. I'll sort of show you how I might go about doing it. So this says, identify what you know and what you need to find out. You do not need to solve the problem. And that's a really good skill, and particularly things like physics or chemistry. List what you know, list what you need to know, and then often you can find a formula. Oh, speaking of formulas, I can't recall if the study guide has all the formulas you need. So I'm just going to show you the book. There's a few formulas you might have to use. Converting Celsius to Fahrenheit, simple interest, distance equals rate times time, we're all pretty familiar with, and this idea of profit, income minus expenses. So there you go. You can reference that in the video if you need to. All right, so we're making cookies for a bake sale, and we need to make enough cookies to fill 24 boxes containing 6 cookies each. How many dozen cookies do you need? So I like to think about unit analysis, so I have 24 boxes. This is what I know, and each is 6 cookies per box. And the question is, how many cookies in dozens? And you might let C equal that. What am I looking for? C is the number of cookies that I need in dozens. I thought this one was a little hard to think about because you have a plan that's 400 minutes a month for $35 and charges $15 for each additional minute over 400. How long can you talk on the phone? So I already know I'm paying and how much to stay within a budget. I actually thought it was easier to think about the money. So, and I just set up an expression. It's kind of the same thing. This one I thought was a little harder to list what you know and what you need to know. And if I was doing work equals force times distance, and I'm given force and work and I need to find distance, that's kind of easier to list. So I'm going to say, look, I'm already spending $35. And then it's going to be 15 cents for every minute over 400 minutes. So the total time I talk on the phone minus the 400 I already got out of this. And then I have a budget of $450, so this whole thing needs to be less than $45. And T is total number of minutes. How long can you talk on the phone each month? So that's what I'm looking for, T. You invest $200 into an account that earns 2% simple interest. How long will it take to earn 50? State the formula. So this is the total interest is equal to your principal times your rate times your time. So in this case, I know my total interest is $50. I know my principal is how much I started with, $200. I know my rate is 2%, which you want to express as a decimal, and the question I'm asking is t. So if you filled those in, you could solve for t. You have I, you have p, you have r, you need to find t. It takes you half an hour to travel 26 miles to work. What is your average speed? This is distance equals rate times time. So your average speed is really the rate. We know that distance equals 26 miles. We know t and u. This would depend when they don't ask you what units they want average speed in. So if you gave your t as half an hour, you'd get miles per hour. Or if you gave your t in 30 minutes, you'd get miles per minute. Again, they're asking us to write down, oops, I'm catching up. Sorry, you guys, I'm a little new to this whole video process. Interest equals principal times rate times time. Your interest is total interest is $50. The principal was $200. The rate was 2% expressed as a decimal. How long will it take you to earn that? This takes you half an hour to travel 26 miles to work. What is your average speed? Classic distance equals rate times time. Your distance is 26 miles. You could express your time in hours or minutes, and then therefore your rate would either be in miles per hour or miles per minute. Your sticker collection consists of 175 stickers total. This is looking good, 175 total. Each sticker is either an animated cartoon character or an animal. There are 43 less stickers that are animated characters than are animals. Here's the key. They're telling you let X be the number of animal stickers, right? So which equation correctly models the situation? Well, you have 43 less that are animated characters. So X minus 43 is the number of animated characters. And we know that these two added together will equal 75. So that has to be C. You installed a bookshelf on the wall to organize. Again, it's telling you don't need to solve the problem, but you could. You installed a bookshelf on the wall to organize some of your books. Currently, you've got 6 3/4 pounds on there. The shelf can handle no more than 9. You want to fill it with paperbacks that each weigh about 1/8. Assuming you won't run out of room, how many books can you add to the shelf? So I'm already starting with 6 3/4. I kind of like this one because it's fractions. And I'm going to add a bunch of paperbacks. Let P equal the number of paperbacks. That's what I'm looking for. And I have to be less than or equal to 9. So that's what that would look like. Just for good measure, how would I go about writing this out? Because it's got all these fractions that are yucky. Mixed numbers are yucky. Let's change that to a fraction. I don't like improper, so I just say fraction. 4 times 6 is 24, plus 3 is 27. And then this would be P over 8. 1 times P over 8 times 1 is less than or equal to 9 over 1. Everybody becomes a fraction when you're working with fractions. Then we would want them all to have a common denominator, so this guy needs to get multiplied by 2. So I'd have 54 over 8 plus P over 8 would be less than or equal to, this guy needs to get multiplied by 8 over 8, 72 over 8. And then it makes the problem a lot simpler because essentially the 8s don't really matter. 54 plus B has to be less than or equal to 72. Just a note about that. This one I would kind of do as unit analysis. Again, everybody's going to do it a little bit different, but I like to show you unit analysis. You're responsible for buying supplies for a camping trip. You have packages of stew that cost $4.95 each and can feed 2 people. You need to buy enough so you have 3 days and for 8 people. How many packages do you need? What is the total cost? It's a nice breezy day here in Vermont. So look, I've got $4.95 per pack, and each pack is going to feed 2 people. And I have 8 people, and I have 3 days. So you'd get the total number of, you'd get the total cost here. If you just wanted to know how many packs you were looking for, you would just do that. I have 8 people times 3 days is 24 servings, essentially. And 24 divided by 2 would give you 12 packs. If you wanted the total cost, then it's just $4.95 times packs. I crossed this one out because I know there's a couple on your practice about temperature, so I wanted to use the conversion formula. This is a formula. I like to differentiate between formulas and relationships. So the temperature in Rome was 30 degrees Celsius. The temperature in Dallas was 83 degrees Fahrenheit, which was greater. Well, since I'm given the formula in that converts Fahrenheit to Celsius, I'm going to convert that to Celsius. So 5/9 times 83 minus 32, and 5/9 times, what's 83 minus 32? 51. And shoot, I don't know what that's going to be. 51 divided by 9 times 5. Anyway, you could do that on your calculator and get an answer. But basically just plug it into the formula and you can figure out. 51 divided by 9 is somewhere between 5 and 6. And somewhere between 5 and 6 times 5, it's going to be somewhere, well, it would have to be 51 divided by 9 is less than 6. So 5 times something less than 6 would be less than 30. So I'm guessing, so this is going to be less than 30 degrees. So Rome is hotter. 30 degrees Celsius is hotter. 30 degrees Celsius is greater than 83 degrees Fahrenheit, if I did my math correctly. Keep on working. Email me if you have questions.